Cheers, everyone. Coming at you on Thursday, September 7th, 2023. I'd love to play all of this for you, but I don't want a copyright strike. But isn't this wonderful? Wow. I just received my copy of this in the mail. Scott Schultz, Whip Sigils. Brand new release on the No Part of It label, run by Arvo Zylo. Happy and proud to say that I have worked with Scott. We were part of a collective called Platform, have performed together. Scott is a learned musician, and he strikes me as a generally pretty nerdy, scholarly type. You know, he loves, I think he still works at the library and sets up events down in Lincoln. This album is again, I just got it, so there's much to absorb about it. But Whip Sigils is literally these old songs, and it's all related here. And it's fascinating, and it relates to COVID, and then back to the plague, regarding how people coped with it. And this is really excellent. It's a deep listen too. I love how Scott is knowledgeable about the instruments he plays, the saz and the oud, as well as guitar software and paper. And yes, you can hear the use, his manipulation of paper. Interesting. He's got the instruments tuned correctly too. I can hear that, you know. Do we call it just intonation in the West? I'm not sure. But I want to enthuse about this honestly, as I do about music, because this shit is good. Love that artwork. Hats off to Arvo Zylo for being willing to invest in what he believes in artistically. That's quite a commitment. And excuse me, I'll look for the link and leave it. It's worth you having. Whip Sigils. And have I told you lately how much I like the new Slow Dive? That's a direct response to someone who has the nerve to try to tell me what I'm supposed to talk about. Are you kidding me? How rude. Cheers. So I will talk a little bit about what's on my mind this morning, and show some records, although I don't have any to show you that I've played, because what did I do yesterday? Oh, yeah. If I can see it right quick, I'll pull them. Where are they? Where's my noise? Here we go. As I've said, I like documentaries. Pardon me, folks. As I've said, I like documentaries. It's rare anymore that a movie really catches my interest and I watch it all the way through. I try, but I won't pay for watching movies, and the free stuff that they give you to choose from is pretty shit. And so anyway, I watched this German language documentary about the band Neu, and most specifically about the band member Klaus Dinger, the drummer, who was apparently a handful and not a pleasant one. It's in German, so it had the captions, but the captions were pretty good, so I could understand. I have a little understanding of German, just a tiny bit. But Neu, I no longer have. I had the English pink cover of the first Neu album. It was given to me by the Reese brothers. I've talked about them in my past. I got turned on to Neu when I was in high school and loved it right away, that motoric beat. But the copy that Paul Reese gave me, we played it to death, and eventually I lost track of it, got rid of it. I'm sorry I did. But I have this version of it on Brain. And this is unique, and it is very influential across the board in many genres of music. It's been very influential. It's so primal and primitive, and yet futuristic at the same time. The way that Michael Rother's guitars played on top of the primal beat, it was like something new. I was not surprised to find out in the documentary that Michael and Klaus were not friends, nor were they very friendly with each other. This is the second album. There they are. It also illustrates why I prefer and really only will play with people I like. Neu came up with something unique and influential, partly because of the big differences in them as people. And sparks can fly, from that. Creative differences can really make some cool stuff. But apparently Klaus was pretty unhinged personally too, with his drug use and stuff. And Michael Rother was straight, probably still totally straight drug-wise. And so that kept them apart as far as friendship. And it also was reflected in the Neu second album, which is on here. And they talk about it in the documentary, that the music stopped. They ran out of ideas. And so what did they do on the second side of the Neu album? They just turned everything backwards and played with the speed. And even then it's kind of an interesting listen. I like it so much that I went ahead and got this reissue that came out on Gronlin on the white vinyl because it's just so cool looking. Come on, that's like ice cream or something, I like it. And have I told you lately how much I like the new Slow Dive? That's right, people, don't be fucking with me. Get your ass out of here. You know what I'm saying? Please. I have two more in my Neu collection. There's more, but this is a reissue. Hallow Gallow, Rock on Brain. Nothing different about it, just, with a different cover for the first album, I believe. And then this, a remix album. Is this remix? Yeah. I like this. I've had people diss this online. They say, oh, it's not really Neu. I think it's pretty cool, actually. It's another one worth showing because it's in a nice bright yellow. This is some good stuff. I was right for it at the time in high school when I came across it. I had already discovered early on as a kid Zappa and stuff like that. And so I was always interested in something different. So when I met the Reese brothers in my senior year of high school, and they turned me on to Can and Ashra Temple and the ECM label and Popol Vuh. I was just ready. Gong, all that stuff. Faust. I was perfect. Love it. So great. Regarding finding this stuff, it's so easy to find this stuff on YouTube as well as Google. So rather, I may remember to look up the link for you. I may not. But this shit is so easy to find, people. Google Klaus Dinger, search Klaus Dinger on YouTube, and you'll find it. When I grabbed that, this came up as well. Neuro D. Everything's in alphabetical order. This was sent to me out of Greece when I had an album released by a label in Greece, Fact, and they would send me stuff, and it's electronic, very much like Kraftwerk. This is very much like Kraftwerk. System Automatic EP. This is good stuff. If you like that sort of stuff, this is good, and really kind of fits next to Noi because there is that motoric thing going with it. It's like travel. It's like movement. There's that. I will riff a little bit on. Thank you for the feedback, people. Yes, I'm at home. This isn't planned out. This is just I got into a groove with this. Years ago, people were requesting me to do it every day, which I resisted. It's like I do what I want, okay? And so it's just evolved into something that I do enjoy doing for the most part. If I don't, I don't. It has to do with why I generally do not like requests and don't do them. Because that would be, for me, that would be a dead end. Because if I do one, then here comes another, then another, because I've done it before, and it's not fun for me. This is fun, just talking about what I want to talk about. With that, before I forget, I want to talk about the Rolling Stones with this new album coming out first in 18 years. I watched the press junket, or whatever you call it. I used to kind of look down on the Stones doing that, but time is gone. And the fact that they're still here at this age doing what they do, I found the fact that they make a big deal. We're making an album and we'll have a press release and the press will come. It was pretty cool, actually. The other thing that I kept remarking to myself is how Mick Jagger just turned 80 and Mitch McConnell is 81. Talk about a stark contrast. I mean, there's all these reasons why they are different, but I will comment on, when we were kids and politicians would look down on rock music and how it's so destructive. And now we look at these pathetic politicians and their shameful behavior and the way that a lot of them look and how uncool they are and how unhealthy and selfish those fucking bastards are. I said, more power to the Stones. Now, I want to say that first single off this new album is crap for my taste. And then the video, it's like, geez, what is this deal? You're old. What are you doing, this young girl? I think that's bullshit promotion. And I personally think that they could come up with better songs. The thing that I'm happy about is that there's 2 tracks on the album with Charlie still on drums, and they got Bill Wyman to come in and play bass on one. I'm not buying it for that reason, but I want to hear that track, and I think that's significant, kind of like a full circle thing. Too bad it couldn't happen before Charlie died. I respect the Stones' position in history. As a kid, I basically hated them. But I've come around. So I keep flirting with the issue of bringing a stack of shit in from the other room, and I just never do it because then there's all that taking the stuff back. But A through C is out there, so I can't even grab it in here. A whole lot of records I probably haven't shown in a long time. So what I'm going to do right quick is I'm going to look quickly and see if I can identify a record. I'm going to pull some and try to show something where I don't think I've shown it before for whatever reason. Let me see if I can make that happen. I'm gonna go over here to the keys, and I'm gonna pull a block. And I'll pull a section, and let's see. Okay, I'm gonna show all these, and we'll see. So this one, likely I've shown it because I probably showed it when I bought it. Jan Tiersen, Lagniappe Session. I think this is also on colored vinyl. I'd have to play this again to describe it. I haven't listened to it enough to tell you. He is doing a piano phase on here by Steve Reich. And he's also doing a Francois Hardy song on here. So I keep myself entertained here easily if I want to, just with my records. But thankfully, it's not a crutch, and I have a lot of interest and do plenty of other things. I don't know if I've ever shown this. This is significant. Asmus Teichens and Terry Burroughs, Watching the Burning Bride. Asmus Teichens is another one of those names that you ought to know regarding electronic, experimental, pushing boundaries type of work. This is, I haven't played this in years, and yet I can hear it in my head. Someone to find out about if you don't. And I would have more of his records if I could find them. Here's one other on the Fantastic Sky label, which has become very collectible. Kind of knew it would. Asmus Teichens, Licia. And this is synth pop. It's very interesting how he does the avant-garde and then the accessible. This is good. Asmus Teichens. Oh, here's my friends, okay? These are some records where I keep them. I don't play them, but they're my friends. Tilly and the Wall on the Saddle Creek label. When they had a run of success, I mean, they toured U.S., Europe, Japan, got on David Letterman. They've been on Sesame Street, I think. I was so jealous. I ain't gonna lie. That's what I want. That's what I want. It led me to, well, it was thankfully consequential through a friend of mine's son that I ended up meeting these people and starting to work with Saddle Creek people. So I'm on a Coyote Bones album with members of Tilly and the Wall. Icky Blossoms, the band was started by Dereck Presnell, who started this band, Icky Blossoms. What else do I have by them? This is his artwork too. He's an artist. Bottoms and Barrels. I like his artwork. I like Dereck. We just spent the holiday together. A recent one, whatever it was. Was it a birthday or something? I love the guy. And this stuff is, it's real simple. These guys really, it wasn't about musicianship. They really barely can play, except for Nick White on keys. Great guy. It was about this spirit and fun. That's really how Tilly and the Wall happened, was friendship and those guys having fun. I have jumped on stage with them and helped out with percussion along, and attempted to tap dance along with Jamie. This is the band that had a tap dancer instead of a drummer. And I have this 12-inch single. Team Love, Connor Oberst's label. That's the label they were on, not Saddle Creek. Or was it? They're related, Time, Smooth Ball. I'm going to just go. This might be a long one. Trust in Men Everywhere is what Time stood for. And the band had members who were either in Steppenwolf before this or after. This is very good. This is my copy that I've had since childhood. I'm happy to say, or whether this is a cool how I got this. For a time, Liberty Records had a pressing facility in Omaha. Well, I'm not sure. I think it had pressing in it. Must have. But it was just down the hill from where I lived in South Omaha as a kid. And every now and then in the dumpster out back there would be records. And one time, this was in it. That was my response. I'd gotten some other records, but some schlocky stuff, Timmy Euro, and some orchestral stuff. But when this one showed up, it was, oh wow! And then I get it home and play it, and it's like, wow, it's really good. This is a good album. And it has a song in here, "Beautiful Flower." Flowers. Some childhood favorite. I don't think I've ever shown this album before. Okay. Here's the first. What's next? Time. Time. Well, what would be next? Talking about time. The Time. Yeah, The Time, y'all. With Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Terry Lewis, I don't know that he's from Omaha, but he has Omaha connections, and my older brother knew him. And there's a story that Terry told early on in Entertainment Tonight where he attributed his story to Prince, but what he was actually talking about was my brother James on bass. Kind of proud of that fact. This is a great album. And when it came out, Get It Up, cool, undeniable. And is it Prince and Morris Day? Yes, it is. It's Prince and Morris Day on this album. The next one, what time is it? You better believe I relate to this shit. This is in my blood. This is my shit. And then the track on here that kills 777-9311. Okay. All right. Love it. My dudes. And they killed it. The first time I saw The Time open for Prince, they blew Prince away musically. But Prince, with his intense character and who he is and all that, with no problem, he came back and just blew everybody away. Really, I was kind of like, oh my goodness, what's going on with me? This man's making me hot. And then Ice Cream Castle. This is good. These are good albums. That's why I got them. Wasn't that long ago I played this. Love this stuff. Okay. What's next? We're still on Time. The Times. Edward Ball. Creation Records. Beat Torture. Haven't played this in a while. I'd have to play it to tell you what it's like. It's a pop sort of thing, but not quite. The Times. Beat Torture. Okay, I've never shown that. What's next? Probably have never shown this. Tim Timmermans with Skipper Wise. Poems of the Five Mountains on Klaus Schultz label. Innovative Communication. Yeah, see, I just go for stuff like this. I go for healthy music. I hate that term New Age. I love music that creates peace. I love it. This is really good. Two more records. What are they? Here's one that was sent to me that I've kept, but it's kind of harsh. It's a harsh thing. Victor Timofeev, Palace of Peace and Reconciliation. This is kind of like grindcore noise that I remember. And I think it's pretty good. I kept it. That's what I can tell you. There are many records that have been sent to me for review over the years that I don't have anymore. And there's probably more that can go. And the last thing here is Trip Into the Body by Johan Timman. This is one I found cheap, and it just looked interesting, and it's a little on the light side. It's electronic. It's kind of, I don't know if I want to say it's cheesy. This one I got to play again, but it's a keeper. I kept it obviously for some reason. So there's some records for you people. I'm gonna get this uploading, and I'm headed to the post office again. Thank you, people, for your continued interest in RAF. And don't stop. There's only 3. I can look online and tell you how many copies of the maroon are left. It's almost gone. It's like if you don't get it, you're not going to get that. There's 4 copies left of the maroon colored RAF album. But what I'm getting ready to do when I take my orders to the post office to mail off, I'm taking one that was bought by one of the general managers of my post office. The guy who said that he started his job with Kelly at the same time 18 years ago. He just bought a copy, and he just put the address of the post office on his order. So I'm just going to personally deliver it to him. And Kelly's already signed it. If Bart's there and he wants me to sign it, I will. But I'm going to leave it like this since Kelly and he, that's pretty cool to me. Thank you everyone, thank you. Then I got a big pile of records down here I need to put away. So that's what's on my mind this morning. The coffee is good this morning. The Canada wildfires has the air quality here in Omaha pretty low, and it's hazy. It was real hazy yesterday. It's supposed to lift a little bit today. There's an air quality alert in my area. Has been since yesterday. Yeah. So that's what's going on. I do enjoy, and it's interesting, I'm sitting here alone, and yet I am fully aware, and I'm feeling connected, even though I'm just making the video, but I feel the connection. I don't feel like I'm sitting here all alone talking to myself. I'm talking to you. We're connected. So let me get it up out of here. And no big plans today. Hank Red is not coming over today. Tuesdays and Thursdays are our days, but hasn't contacted me for a session today. That's fine. When I can tell you what we're up to, I will. I'm letting him lead that parade. People, I think it's important for those of us that are willing to talk about unity and trying to fight against the obvious tide of attrition that the planet is in. There's always wonderful things happening and growth and wonderful things happening, but on the overall, things are falling apart. Climate change doesn't make it any better. Politics and the 0.1% worldwide being so greedy and just hoarding everything really is part of the scenario that we live in that creates this atmosphere that I feel, especially when I go out in the world, and it ain't nice. And it's like, it would be helpful if more of us would consciously walk in peace and with the idea of trying to cultivate a sense of unity and togetherness, brotherhood, sisterhood. All of this division is destroying us. There will be no winner. That's what frustrates me about the politics, is that you people are so unwise to not be able to see holy shit, I've been on here for half an hour. The destructiveness of your folly, it's galling and frustrating. It angers me, and it just goes on. So that's what the last thing I have to just riff about. Hello, family. If you see this out in California, you know how much I love you. Everybody make the best of the day. Order RAF.